So what got you interested in your line of research? And you have about 100 papers. So why don't you outline first the full range of your research, or at least the bulk of your research, so that we can flesh out all the domains that we might discuss. And then I'd like to know, what it was that sparked your interest in what you're
Sure.
pursuing.
Yeah, thank you. So I work on many different things. My main area of research is exoplanets. So these are planets orbiting other stars, which we've been talking about thus far. And, that has always been a fascinating topic to me, just because it was fairly new. Only in the last 30 years have we been able to make this reach of being able to actually detect these things for the first time. However, in doing, for me, when you look for exoplanets, certainly when I started looking for exoplanets, I would be immediately interested in the possibility of life and intelligent life, as we've been talking about. And many of my colleagues would kind of giggle and laugh about that. It still carries what we call the giggle factor, the field of SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, SETI, SETI. And still many of my colleagues kind of dismiss that as kind of a frivolous activity. But for me, it's always been obvious that if we're going to look for stars, which could have planets, and then we're going to look for planets that could have, Earth-like conditions, then surely the end point of this entire intellectual exercise is to ask the question whether they have life on them. I don't understand what we're doing if we're not going to eventually shoot at that question. So I was never shy of addressing that. And so a lot of my research has broadened out into questions of astrobiology, technosignatures, which is kind of a modern rebranding of SETI, ways to look for technology in the universe, such as the Dyson spheres that we've spoken about. And increasingly, I've been interested in statistics and the application of statistics to these types of problems, where, as we've already pointed out, you're very data starved. We don't have a catalog of habitats out there, at least known habitats. We don't have a catalog of civilizations discovered thus far. So we are trying to make inferences about our uniqueness, which to me is one of the most interesting and fundamental questions we can ask, is how special or common are we out there in the universe? And we are trying to make inferences based off very little data, a paucity of data. And to me, that's always just been intellectually very stimulating, to try and work on that fringe of where you know so little, but there's actually still some information there. There is still something there. There's information about the timing of when Earth developed, when life developed on the Earth. There's information about the future of our planet. We know that from the evolution of the sun. There's information about the fact we don't see galactic empires. And so my job is to try to sort of piece this puzzle together and not give necessarily a definitive answer, but at least limit the options down to what is the landscape of what's possible.